What's up everybody, I'm Chris Lee, and once again we're working on Mike's bus conversion. In this video I'll show you how we mount the solar panels as well as the custom fabricated brackets that tie the whole system together. Also, since the bus will be camping, we're going to tackle some security issues because we want to let the fresh air in, but we'd like to keep the 2- and 4-legged animals out. And one more thing, I'll be swapping out the standard boring bus seat for this Tahoe seat. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's get to it. Like pretty much every project I do, I'm going to start with a mock-up just to get an idea of where things are going to land. So depending on where you take the measurement from on the bus, you've got a width of about 96 inches. Now I say that because the sides of the bus for the most part are just straight vertical, but as it gets higher, it tapers in. So one of the obvious concerns with this is overhang. We don't want it to overhang off the side of the bus because it's going to hit things. But we have to leave some type of space in between so that you can actually walk the roof of the bus without stepping on the panels. That being said, if I make these panels about 95 inches from end to end, that leaves me roughly 6 inches. I have some adjustment, but I have about 6 inches in between, which would mean that on the top of the bus, you can walk like that in between the panels. So the panels are roughly 44 3/4 of an inch wide. So if I put this here, that's gonna be the end of your panel. It's still within the lines of the bus, but we don't really have much of a choice. As far as the rails are concerned, for mounting, I'm gonna take the inner rail and I'll go 3 inches from the center. And then for the outer rail, it'll be 36 inches from the center. I'm not sure if you can see this line, but I ran a laser from the back of the bus all the way to the front, right down the center. And we're gonna use this to pull all of our dimensions for layout. Now, you can do this on the roof, but why would you want to do this on the roof when you can be inside the bus? You have to hit all of the ribs with your brackets. You can't see them all from the roof because of the paneling, but you can see them all from inside. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna work from inside. So the outer brackets are gonna be 36 inches from center. And the inner ones are gonna be 6 inch from center. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is pop a couple of self-tappers in, and these are going to be used so that I can snap a line to the back of the bus. So you see, so there's the string, there's our snap line. So now I'll repeat that on the other 3 screws and we will know where our holes need to be drilled. So now what I'm gonna do, now that I have all of the holes marked out, I'm gonna use a center punch and give myself a starting point for all of my holes. This way I don't have to worry about my bit walking all over the place. And I know this might seem like an extra step or extra work, but sometimes a few minutes of extra work in the beginning saves you hours of work later on. Now keep in mind, this bus is from 2002, so it's highly unlikely that every one of these screws is just gonna cooperate with you and come out. In fact, most of them aren't. So that's where this comes in. This is an impact driver. Anyone who's ever had to pull off some rotors that have that little set screw know exactly what this tool is. It's basically the cheat code for dealing with stuck fasteners. Sure, you could just jump right into it and hit everything with the drill, but once you start rounding out these fasteners, your life is gonna get a little more difficult and you're gonna start wasting some serious time. Next, I jump into Fusion and start building some brackets. This is what's going to tie the actual system to the roof. So we have a slotted portion down here that'll allow inward and outward adjustment, and a slotted portion up here that will allow for vertical height adjustment. So now these are the brackets that we're going to be using to mount the rails to the roof of the bus. So after plasma cutting, the first thing I got to do is get some of this dross off. Then we'll grind them and we'll sand them and get them ready for paint. So these brackets are a little past 90 degrees because we have the curvature of the roof. So it's just one of those things you got to keep in consideration. I also have a little bit of adjustment here. This isn't the real hardware I'm going to be using. Clients actually coming by with the hardware in a bit. I just don't have it right now. But basically, this is going to get fastened down below to the ribs that you saw me do the pre-drilling earlier. Then I'll have butyl tape underneath, and then we'll use Sikaflex to caulk the perimeter and on top of the hardware as well, just like these. So we've got 19 degrees. So basically, we're going to do our bend right at a 90 with an additional 19 degrees, which will bring us to 109 degrees. So that's what these brackets need to be, 109 degrees. 7.5. So this will be 7 and 11/16. All right, let's go lay it out in Fusion, cut one out on the CNC and see how it fits. That'll work. Let's go check it on the other side. And if we like how it looks over there, we've got to make a bunch of these as well. Well, for these brackets, I have to be at 109 degrees and my brake doesn't do that. So I'm going to show you the highly calibrated method that I'm doing to achieve the remainder of the 109 degree bend. This is my 109 degree piece, that's the reference. All right, so now for the fun part. Yep. Okay. right, so we've got all the brackets installed with the exception of 2 that are in the bathroom area that we're just gonna have to figure out from inside the bus. But other than that, we're looking really good. It's time to install the rails. All right, so up and over, and then you're gonna put that piece I told you on the bottom of the track and rotate it, and then you'll put it through the bracket. Okay, tighten it. Okay, ready? So one of the things about these brackets is the slots that make them adjustable. And the reason they were adjustable is so that all 4 of them can be at the same level, which means that the solar panels will be installed nice and flat without being twisted. And yeah, that should help prolong their life. So let's tighten this stuff up. Okay. Well, that's it for today, my friends. I'm tired. I'm gonna call it a night. We'll pick back up on the bus tomorrow. Not that the panels are heavy, it's that they're just awkward and I'm trying not to fall off the roof while picking them up. Install. Damn. In case you're wondering what the fastening system is, the panel gets 4 of these camo clips underneath, and then in between each panel, we have these fasteners as well. And the very last row will have a set that clamps forward, and the front will have a set that clamps going back. All right, last panel. I'll have to cut this one bolt down, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Okay. it up. All right, so now let's focus on security. Basically, what I'm gonna be doing is building a steel frame with a removable steel insert that'll have the mesh that I showed you earlier. And again, it's twofold. It doesn't just keep bad people out, but it's gonna keep animals out. That's really what it's all about, is this thing being able to park in the woods at night, this window open, with the back window open, and with the side door open for nice fresh air, and not having to worry about a bear coming and ripping your face off in the middle of the night. So let's get to it. All right, so these are the sides of the frame that's gonna be holding the security gates. This particular one is for the rear of the bus, for the rear window. So this is where the fasteners will go into the bus. Then the removable section goes here, and that piece of 1-inch steel will interlock into the frame. And then I still have to make a locking mechanism, but they'll slide in to keep them in position. So this is just a quick template that I cut out on the plasma cutter. And I'll basically locate my notches so that both left and right side are even, and it'll all start making sense in a bit. So I'm going to be using my mag drill with the annular cutter to get the round part of the slots, but unfortunately there's no way to drill this without the tool hitting from this side, so I'll be doing the drilling operation from the back. Not the end of the world, but this is one of those things that kind of reminds you that sometimes it's better to spend a few minutes planning ahead to avoid having an issue later.
Since I already did the layout on this side, I might as well drill the pilot holes. Then I can just flip over these pieces of angle and use that pilot hole for the centering pin on the annular cutter. You know, just making lemonade out of lemons, I guess. I repeat these steps for all the openings, and then it's time to move on to the removable grates. To remove the windows, you have to pull them forward while lifting up. There are pins that slide through the side of the frame into the windows to lock them in place. This makes them quick to install and remove from the interior, but impossible to push in from outside. The owner is a retired FDNY fireman, so as a thank you, I figured I'd put his old engine company number on the side door. The last part of this project is to install this Chevy Tahoe seat. So let's get to it. Well, that's a wrap on this video. The bus is going to head back to the owner's place so he can get to wiring up the solar panels and start planning out what our next mods are going to be. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss other updates on this project, as well as some of the other stuff I'm working on. Till next time.